Wait a sec. Tell me what's going on.
Let's face it, the Kingdom Hearts series has become rather complicated over the years, and more than a few plot points have been the subject of some serious migraines.
What's going on?
Welcome to another episode of Destiny Island's Top 10, and today we're counting down our top 10 picks for the most confusing things about the entire Kingdom Hearts series.
Oh, that's right. I never finished explaining.
For this list, we're tackling plot points that are convoluted, difficult to follow, or just flat out don't make any sense. There are a lot of them, so let's get cracking. Fair warning, as this video will be endeavoring to explain some of these confusing plot points, there will be heavy spoilers ahead.
No! It's top secret!
Number 10. Ansem Seeker of Darkness vs. Ansem the Wise.
Hey, have you heard of someone named Ansem?
Kicking off our list is the plot twist that nobody saw coming, but had everyone saying,
What?
After meeting up with King Mickey during the Heartless invasion at Hollow Bastion, he reveals that all your hard work from the first game was not quite as fruitful as you thought, and that the Ansem you defeated during the climax of the first game was actually an imposter who simply claimed to be the real Ansem.
You see, he wasn't really Ansem. He just went around telling everybody that he was.
The real Ansem, referred to as Ansem the Wise, was a scientist living in Hollow Bastion who was studying the Heartless and the makings of the heart.
I'm intrigued by your hypothesis, and I'm finding it difficult to stave off the urge to test it.
While the main antagonist of the first game is actually revealed to be the Heartless of Xehanort, Ansem's foremost apprentice. More on that later.
So you have come this far, and still you understand nothing. Every light must fade, every heart return to darkness!
Number 9. The Sleeping Worlds.
7 sleeping keyholes must be found and unlocked, and a great power retrieved.
Throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, many different realms have been introduced. There's the Realm of Light, the Realm of Darkness, the Realm of Nothingness, the In-Between Worlds, the Datascape, and introduced in Dream Drop Distance, the Sleeping Worlds. Though there is much confusion surrounding each of these different realms, the Sleeping Worlds are by far the most confusing.
But some never returned completely. They still sleep, cut off from all outside channels.
The Sleeping Worlds exist in a realm outside of the regular flow of time, and are essentially worlds stuck in an endless loop of the events that led to them falling into the darkness. Because many of these worlds fell before Sora or Riku ever visited them, the familiar characters who inhabit them have no memories of our heroes, as in this version of their world, they have not yet met.
Sora, you say? Gosh, I don't think I recognize you, but the name does have a familiar ring.
As if all that wasn't confusing enough, the Sleeping Worlds visited in Dream Drop Distance all exist within Sora's heart, due to young Xehanort's interference with Sora and Riku's Mark of Mastery exam.
This world has been connected.
Number 8. Naminé.
Sora, you really came for me.
Introduced in Chain of Memories, Naminé is a very mysterious character with a very specific set of powers. She can manipulate the memories of Sora and those he's met, as well as plant false memories and manipulate real-world objects by altering people's memories of those objects.
Nice touch with the good luck charm. I didn't know you could use memories to transform objects like cards into keepsakes.
Naminé is technically considered a nobody, but by all accounts her existence was never even supposed to be possible. Naminé was created when Kairi lost her heart during the events of the first Kingdom Hearts, but because Kairi is one of the 7 princesses of heart, that is, a person with a heart containing no darkness whatsoever, the creation of a nobody was never supposed to be possible in the first place.
Sora!
Nevertheless, a nobody was created, and Naminé has been forced to do some truly horrible things to Sora and his friends using her powers. Whether she was being held captive by Organization 13 or manipulated by Ansem the Wise, this girl's been through some serious rough times.
But we will meet again. Someday soon. I promise.
Let her go! Nominate!
Number 7. Xion.
Number 14.
Okay, we take it back. This girl has been through some serious rough times. Xion's very existence is a complicated one, as is her connection to Roxas and, more importantly, Sora.
Roxas? This is him. It's Sora.
Created as part of Vexen's Replica side project, Xion was made with the intention of duplicating Roxas's ability to wield a Keyblade, thus doubling the speed at which Organization 13 could collect hearts for the creation of their very own Kingdom Hearts. It's only through spending time with Roxas and Axel, and developing a friendship with them, that Xion begins to question her purpose in the organization, the morality behind what she's doing, and the truth about her very existence.
Lies! This is the place I come from. I just know it!
That truth being, she was a replica created using data collected from Sora's memories. After the events of Chain of Memories, Naminé began putting Sora's memories back together. The more of them Naminé fixed, the more it began to affect the few memories that were still missing, the ones that were used to create Xion.
If his memories become her memories, she will never survive it.
As if all this wasn't hard enough to follow, players may have noticed that throughout the story of 358 Days Over 2, Xion's appearance is constantly changing. In some scenes her hood is up, in other scenes it's down again and you can see her face, and in one rather memorable instance, she takes the form of many different characters in what some consider the most confusing scene in the entire Kingdom Hearts series.
It was you who destroyed your home.
To put it as simply as possible, Xion was designed to absorb Sora's memories and use them to gain access to the Keyblade. But because Xion's powers are unpredictable and oftentimes erratic, she sort of possesses the same power Naminé does. However, instead of being able to alter the memories of Sora and those closely connected to him, she steals them and absorbs them into herself. Because of this power, Xion assumes a different form related to Sora depending on the memories she's absorbed from the person looking at her.
Of all the faces, why do I look at her and see yours?
Is your head ready to explode yet? Because we've only reached number 7 on our countdown.
My head.
Number 6. Terra and Xehanort's connection.
Join me. You and I can do the world's much greater good.
The Kingdom Hearts series has created quite a complex main villain in Master Xehanort, but even more complicated than his backstory is how he is connected to the fate of another complex character, Terra.
You will pay, Xehanort. Was my master? No. My father, Ericus, not enough for you? Leave my friends alone!
After the events of Birth by Sleep, Terra's body was possessed by Xehanort's heart, with Terra's heart still being trapped inside, protected by his former master Ericus. It is this body that later becomes the Xehanort we are introduced to in Kingdom Hearts 2, that is, the apprentice of Ansem the Wise. We told you we'd come back to this.
This heart belongs again to darkness.
This new Xehanort later loses his heart and becomes the heartless Ansem introduced in the first Kingdom Hearts, and the nobody Xemnas, the main antagonist from Kingdom Hearts 2. In each of these incarnations, a small piece of Terra remains, more so in Xemnas, who constantly searches for a way to rescue Ventus and Aqua from their unfortunate fates.
It has been far too long, friend.
Number 5. Why Ventus looks like Roxas.
I'm asking you, as a friend. Just put an end to me.
When trailers for Birth by Sleep first started circulating the internet, people everywhere were extremely confused by the appearance of a character that bore a striking resemblance to Roxas, a character we had previously met in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 358 Days Over 2. While everyone originally suspected that these two characters were one and the same, it was eventually revealed that this new character was named Ventus, and thus began fan speculation as to why the two characters looked identical. In true Kingdom Hearts fashion, the reason behind this is pretty complicated.
It really felt like I'd been there before, looking up at the stars.
After the events of Birth by Sleep, Ventus's heart was fractured and needed a safe place to hide while it recovered. It sought refuge inside the heart of a young Sora, and has been sleeping there ever since. When Sora's heart was released from his body during the events of the first game, a nobody, Roxas, was created, but Ventus's heart, still sleeping inside Sora's all these years later, was also released.
Hey, can you hear me?
Still not quite repaired, Ventus's heart moved into the empty nobody vessel, altering Roxas's appearance to resemble Ventus rather than Sora. So in a way, the real question isn't why Ventus looks like Roxas. It's more like, why does Roxas look like Ventus?
Roxas.
That is right, the new you.
Number 4. Why Vanitas looks like Sora.
Now that my body is about to perish, you and I will have to join together.
On a similar topic as our last entry, even more complicated than Ventus's connection to Roxas is the connection between the sinister Vanitas and our series protagonist, Sora.
Join me now. We can complete the Keyblade!
Before Ventus was brought to Master Eraqus to train in the ways of the Keyblade, he was the pupil of Master Xehanort, who was using Ventus as part of his efforts to summon the legendary Keyblade. The ordeal proved too much for Ventus, and Xehanort resorted to ripping the darkness from Ventus's heart by force, creating Vanitas.
Empty creature from Ventus Riven. To you, the name Vanitas shall be given.
Originally, Vanitas was a faceless entity living behind a mask, but because Ventus and Vanitas are two halves of the same heart, as well as Ventus's eventual connection to Sora's heart, Vanitas wound up taking on the appearance of Sora.
Even if you are not the prisoner. Huh?
Number 3. The Keyblade.
Do it. Embrace the darkness. Produce for your master the Keyblade!
No, we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill giant key swords. We're talking about the Keyblade, the legendary weapon created to protect the one true Kingdom Hearts.
The Keyblade has been forged!
Not much is known about this mysterious blade, other than that it's the primary means of reviving Kingdom Hearts. Long ago, people wanted the light within Kingdom Hearts for themselves, and as a result, they forged weapons in the image of its protector, the Keyblade, to battle for it. The result was the legendary Keyblade War that Master Xehanort is so fixated on.
When the darkness falls, will we be found worthy of the precious light the legend speaks of? I must have these answers.
After the events of the Keyblade War, Kingdom Hearts disappeared, and the resulting separation caused the Keyblade to shatter into 20 pieces, 7 of light and 13 of darkness. Legend says that if the Keyblade can be reforged, the one true Kingdom Hearts will return. This feat can be accomplished one of two ways. The first involves taking a heart of pure light and a heart of pure darkness and forcing them to battle each other, as Master Xehanort attempted to do with Ventus and Vanitas during the events of Birth by Sleep.
He told me the only way the Keyblade can be forged is if you and me fight.
When that failed, Xehanort's plans shifted to the second option, which involves bringing 13 beings of pure darkness together to clash with 7 Guardians of the Light in an epic showdown, which is what he's currently attempting to do in both Dream Drop Distance and the eventual Kingdom Hearts 3.
But worry not. All of the pieces are destined to appear. Your 7 lights, just like my 13 darknesses, whose final clash will beget the prize I seek. The Keyblade!
Number 2. Time traveling.
You can move through time, but time itself is immovable.
Whenever a story involves time travel, you know it's about to make your head spin. The concept of time travel in the Kingdom Hearts universe was introduced in Dream Drop Distance, And as if time travel wasn't convoluted enough, they tied several rules to how it could be used.
Yes. This was where it started.
The rules of time travel in the Kingdom Hearts universe are as follows. First, in order to gain the ability to travel through time, you must cast off your physical body and exist purely as a heart. Once you've gained the ability to time travel, you can never lose it, even if you regain physical form.
That is Xehanort, reduced to just a heart. The being you and your friends called Ansem.
Whoa!
Second, in order to move through time, there must be a version of yourself waiting at the destination. This means you cannot travel to a time in which you have not been born yet, or are no longer alive. Also, small side note, you can only move through time backwards once. After that, you can make as many forward jumps as you want so long as a version of yourself exists in the time you're moving to.
Then there must be a version of you waiting at the destination. Upon arrival, you can only move forward as per the laws of time.
Third, you cannot change events that are destined to happen. This means you cannot use time travel as a means to change the past, as events in the past are already set in stone and must always occur the same way they did the first time around.
Today, all of my selves throughout time were meant to gather here and to welcome you, Sora, as our 13th member. These facts cannot be changed.
Lastly, you must eventually return to your own time, and upon doing so, lose all the memories and experience you gained as a result of time travel.
While I know this future now that I have lived it, returning to my own time will erase the memories and experiences I have gained here.
Still with us? Because this is the part where all these rules come into play. After Xehanort's plans were thwarted during the events of Birth by Sleep, he cast off his older body in favor of Terra's younger one, and for a brief moment existed only as a heart, thus giving himself the ability to travel through time.
And now it is your darkness that shall be the ark that sustains me!
He then used this ability to grant the same power to a younger version of himself. This young Xehanort was now tasked with traveling forward through time and gathering up 12 additional versions of himself and bringing them all to the present, where they could be used as vessels to fill with Xehanort's heart and corrupt them with darkness. These would serve as the 13 hearts of pure darkness Xehanort required to clash with the 7 Guardians of Light in order to reforge the Keyblade.
My future self gave me a task to visit the splintered versions of myself in many worlds and ensure they gathered here today.
Number 1. Kingdom Hearts.
Behold the endless abyss. Within it lies the heart of all worlds. Kingdom Hearts.
It's the title of the whole damn franchise, and after 8 main installments in the series, we still barely have an understanding of what it actually is.
You're wrong. I know now. Without a doubt, Kingdom Hearts is light!
Often referred to as the heart of all worlds, Kingdom Hearts is said to be a source of pure light in the universe, and as such has been coveted by many over the years. Warriors even fought in an epic conflict known as the Keyblade War in an effort to claim the light for themselves, and thus darkness was born in the world. This battle almost destroyed the light completely, and caused Kingdom Hearts to disappear. However, light managed to live on in the hearts of children, and the universe has been slowly returning to balance ever since.
Believe in the light, and the darkness will never defeat you.
Xehanort, intrigued by the mythology surrounding Kingdom Hearts, seeks it out to satisfy his own curiosity, but his methods have been less than savory over the years. As the heartless Ansem, he sought to claim Kingdom Hearts for his own and use it to flood the world with darkness once more. But in actuality, it was the door to darkness and not Kingdom Hearts at all.
It is futile. The Keyblade alone cannot seal the door to darkness.
As the nobody and leader of Organization 13, Xemnas, he desired to construct his own Kingdom Hearts using the hearts released by the Keyblade, and use it to give each of the organization's members hearts of their own.
I'm carrying on what you yourself began, and I'm creating a brand new world, one heart at a time.
In actuality, there is only one true Kingdom Hearts, and that is the one summoned by the forging of the Keyblade, its protector. This is Xehanort's ultimate goal, though what he plans to do with access to such power remains to be seen in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Let us finish this at the fated place, once your lights and my darknesses have joined together.
So that's our list of the top 10 most confusing things about the Kingdom Hearts series. Do you agree with our list? Did we miss some confusing things that you think should have made the countdown? Let us know in the comments below. And for more Destiny Island's top 10 countdowns, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, I'm Mother Promise 13 from DestinyIslands.com.